It's hotter, but I guess here in Vietnam, if it's hot, it's really hot, and if it's
Yeah.
cold, it's really cold. Like the weather is harsh. So if it's hot, even the aircon cannot sustain it, and if it's cold, you don't need an aircon anymore. Mm. So yeah, some farmers in the Philippines are also suffering because of the weather, but it's much more higher.
Mm.
And I guess in Vietnam you are like a little bit lucky because you can experience coldness.
Oh my
But
God.
in the Philippines all year round, even though it's wet season, there are still time during the wet season that it's very hot.
uh, it's about 35 uh, degree Celsius. I
In Ho Chi
feel,
Minh.
yeah, I feel the sun fire my skin.
Really, Anna?
Yeah.
OMG. Like, um, you can't understand because when you turn on the aircon, maybe it's cold, but your face, it's kind of hot, or maybe your back.
Mm. In
Yeah,
my
so
house, uh, the air condition uh, doesn't work. I,
OMG.
I, I need to repair it.
So, are you using an electric fan or a stand fan?
Yeah, I have to use an electric fan.
I guess many air conditioners right now are not working, or I think it's not that it's not working, Anna. Maybe it cannot keep up. It cannot keep up with the hotness. Like my air conditioner here. So I use the air conditioner and I also use the stand fan. But sometimes I just use one because the electricity. Yeah, I guess that it cannot keep up with the hotness. It's really hot. So I guess how about in your company, Anna? Is it
In my
cold?
company, yeah, it's cool because there are two air conditioners in our room, just one room and two air conditioners.
Wow, that's great. I guess you don't want to go home anymore. Just stay in your company. So, on a hot summer day, Anna, and you don't have any work, what do you usually do to refresh yourself?
I have a short trip to come back my hometown. Yeah,
Still your hometown, Anna. I wanted
yeah.
to
Just
know, or I'm
just stay
curious.
at home. Just stay at home in my parents' house.
Oh,
We don't go out anymore.
mm. So I wanted to know, Anna, what is something in your hometown that you really like because of all the choices you still want to go home? That's good to hear, though. What is something that you can be proud of in your hometown?
Just because we uh, we aren't afraid. We are afraid of coronavirus. So we just stay at home and enjoy our favorite food from my mother.
Okay, I understand. It's because of the virus, not of anything else. Oh, but many people right now are actually going to the beach. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I heard
Mm,
that.
yes.
I think it's
And
not good
mm,
in now.
yes, because it's crowded already.
Yeah.
All right. So how about you, Cam? What do you usually do during summer to refresh yourself?
Come.
Now,
Okay. I think this time pretty hot, and also the first time of summer. And after we stopped social distancing, I like to the beer shop with my label every time, and I can tell you every time in the beer shop really crowded, and eh, everyone always like enjoy the beer for the fresh and reduce the temperature of summer. Yes.
cold beer, right? I guess it is. But before, like Filipinos, actually, we don't drink beer in the morning, usually at night only. But I saw some nationalities, like maybe Japanese and Koreans, they drink it even early in the morning. Are Vietnamese like that?
Um, Almost people in Vietnam they like drink beer in the lunch and the dinner, and rarely they drink in the morning.
Ah, okay. That's good to hear because I guess maybe it's only Filipinos because you know what? I saw a lot of Japanese and Koreans. They drink beer early in the morning. And oh my goodness. And the beer is so cold. All right. So, I guess I saw Anna your post about issue number
Yes.
18. Is it difficult?
Yeah.
Yes, I guess there are a lot of difficult words, but were you able to sort out all those words, Anna?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we can still continue.
Although I
Okay.
use a dictionary
Mm.
to explain the new word, but it's so hard to understand the content.
Yes, I guess so because the meaning of the word will depend on how it is used in the sentence, right? So there are variety or there are many definition of um, a word. For example, one word here is the word slant. So if you are not going to base the meaning of the word slant in the sentence, it means it is a diagonal line. But the word slant here have a different meaning. So it's like that. Sometimes you have to understand the whole context and not base the meaning of the word on what is given to you. For example, you rely too much on dictionary. Do you have electronic dictionary, Anna, or you use Google?
I use electronic uh, dictionary and buff.
Both, yes. I guess it's better to use both because we cannot actually rely on dictionaries all the time because dictionaries are like it is prepared already. So sometimes we couldn't find the meaning in the dictionary. So it's better to have another choice. All right, so this is what I'm talking about last time or last meeting. So this time we are going to talk about print media. So last Monday, we talked about electronic media, and electronic media are those um, something or medium or instrument of expression that we can see on television, the internet, TV, or gadgets. But do you still like, are these print media still relevant in your life today? Anna, are these
Electronic.
Are these print media still relevant in your life? The book.
I think there are some print media we uh, use today.
Okay. Yeah, in my case personally, print media is very important in my life because I was once a part of a print media paper in the Philippines. After I graduated university, the first job that I got is in a local newspaper and a local radio station. So it's a very important part of my life. So how about you, Kam? Do these medium of media still relevant in your life? The books, newspapers, and magazine.
Actually, I rarely to take information from the paper. Uh, yes, and books. Uh, Maybe about few years ago, I still read some books, but nearby time I pretty lazy when I always to feel sleepy when I read a book or a newspaper.
I guess all of us have that kind of experience. How about you, Anna? Have you still read books today?
Not sometimes.
I guess I told you that because of the onset of electronic media, people are becoming lazier to open books.
Yeah.
And even though today there are books that we can find in media, like in our smartphone, we can download a library, and that library will be full of books. Still, people won't be attracted to read books because we are very busy scrolling our social media. Like, anyways, okay, so let's have the first paragraph, Anna. So, can you tell me what do you understand in the first paragraph of this essay?
I think nowadays we live in the world of information. We can get knowledge from books, newspapers, magazine, some electronic equipment like television, radio, and a laptop from the internet. Um, we have to tend to believe what we read, but I think nowadays we don't believe it anymore like before.
So, does this true to you, or do you
Yes,
believe in this one? So, you believe that the print media right now is not reliable.
yeah,
Do you think electronic media like TV is more reliable than print media?
uh, no, I think book is the best.
Okay, the book is still the best one. I also agree with you, Anna. We have the same opinion. I believe in print media more than the electronic media. So, as what is said in the first paragraph, we have what we call information age in this generation. But the problem is we have what we call information overload. You're familiar with these terms, right? Information overload. Like, people cannot absorb the right information or the information that they want to believe. It's because there are many information around us. So right now we have what we call, maybe you heard about, like, fake news, right? My case as well, I could no longer differentiate if this news is fake or not. So in your case, Anna, how are you going to, like, test or to know if that news is fake or not? Because nothing is credible or reliable right now because we have information overload. What are you going to do?
I still read it, but I think I don't believe it.
Mm. So in these times, actually, it's so difficult because we don't know what to believe anymore because there are a lot of fake news. Yes. And like me, actually, I would be very honest that most of the news that I can read, or maybe because I don't usually watch news, I just really read, are all on Facebook. Yeah, so Facebook would give us a link because even the international news like CNN, BBC, they have Facebook page also, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it's very difficult these days to really believe it in. But are you a person, Anna, who usually reads news?
Who?
Anna,
Yeah.
because I have a student actually today, and yeah, we have different topics every day, but there was a time that we have topics all about controversial opinions and current affairs. So it talks about the news, but she told me that she doesn't know anything about the news and she doesn't care about it. So the reason the reason why she transferred to the countryside is because she doesn't want to like hear a lot of news in the city. So how about because she lived in Ho Chi Minh before, Anna. So how about you, Anna? Do you still care about the news? Do you still read news today?
I just read it for entertain.
Entertainment.
Yeah,
All
entertainment.
right. Okay. So how about the second paragraph, Cam? What do you understand about the second paragraph?
I think in the second paragraph, there are two things. The first is nowadays there are many uh, organizations to 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 direct the people for the commercial interest, and they can to direct the consumer for the advantage for some buyer, for some seller. And the second is they always to make the uh, free uh, ca- hmm, I don't know the meaning.
Skeptical?
Yes, skeptical
Mm.
for the consumer to have to focus on the every message from them. I think that is the key for the media.
Yes, that's right. So, because in the first paragraph, it is said that there are a lot of information nowadays because we are living in an information age. So we can no longer know what to believe. And it is important to be skeptical and critical. So what do we mean by being skeptical and critical? It means that we need to always ask questions. We need to ask if this news or if this information are trustworthy or not. So, because right at this age, many people usually believe in fake news, or we just believe what we read on Facebook. So it is very important to be skeptical. But the problem is, how are you going to be skeptical? Is being skeptical would waste your time? Like if you want to be skeptical, you have to search the news from other source. Like for example, you've heard about the news about COVID-19 that we already have a vaccine. But in another station or in another news publisher, they say that we haven't found the vaccine. And but so in that case, we can no longer determine or know who are we going to believe like that. So even the world is like that nowadays. We still have to be skeptical or critical. Like even though some issues in your society, guys, like I think this is very difficult. Like do you know any issues in your locality, And then how do you know, how would you know that the issue is really true? How are you going to be skeptical? Anna,
Mm, for me, I don't believe in the new news or new information. I just believe what what it happened, what uh, what happened in the past or happened for another people, another person.
okay. So if there is someone like a testimony, okay. So a testimony is actually um, from someone or from a person. So you believe that that news happened if there is a testimony. Mm. Okay, I guess that's great, or that's also good, Anna, because it's like an evidence that the news really happened. This is somewhat difficult. Okay, how about you, Cam? How are you going to be skeptical on news that you have heard?
I think nowadays we always surrounded by many other information and many other sources. So that's why sometimes I feel really nervous when I don't know how I can believe on 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 the news on Facebook or some newspaper, and that's pretty common in our social when every people easy to become a editor or publisher their information.
All right. So we said, guys, that we have two kinds of media, the print media and the electronic media. But actually, there is also two kinds among those two kinds. So the first one is the mainstream media. So mainstream media, this is what we always see and hear, like on big television station. That's mainstream media. We can hear big news on that, and this is what usually people would hear. So if you have big TV stations in Vietnam, those are with what we call mainstream media. So mainstream media, guys, they are always on the commercial interests. So they are always motivated by commercial interest. Maybe they are going to have this news because they want to attract people to buy this certain product. But we also have what we call alternative media. You have alternative media. So alternative media, guys, those are small publishers. And in my opinion, I believe that alternative media is what we need nowadays. I believe that alternative media is less biased than the mainstream media. So maybe in my case, to be skeptical, I have to read the news in the alternative media. So I hope that that Vietnam also have alternative media, not just mainstream media, so that people can have a lot of choice. Okay, guys. So I have one question. Do you have problems in Vietnam when it comes to publishing news or maybe reporting? Because the Philippines is one of the deadliest country in the world when it comes to journalism or reporting. So many reporters or many journalists have died already in the Philippines. And just today, our radio announcer was killed. So it is the problem in the Philippines. How about in Vietnam? Do you have some problems in publishing news or reporting?
Um, I think in Vietnam we easy to publishing some news on Facebook and some other social media, but the problem does appear when you publishing a news to relate about government or political, and that is pretty hot news, and I think we should to avoid that.
Okay, I understand. So, yes, so I guess there is no freedom of expression as well here. Because if you say news or people should be free to publish the truth or whatever they heard or whatever they discover. So, if it's all about politics and if it's all about government and it's it's dangerous for you to do that, I guess there is no there is no freedom of expression. But I guess is it safer here in Vietnam because I haven't heard any news about someone killed a reporter or someone killed a journalist, or is it because the reporters don't publish news about government and politics? They avoid it? Okay, I guess guys, you don't have a lot of information about news. All right. So, yeah. If you want to be safe, it's better to avoid it. Yeah, but I hope that there are still people who are brave enough to publish those information. Okay, so let's have question number 1. What era do we live in? Anna, according to our essay, what era do we live in?
Yeah, we live in the information age.
Okay, that's that's the answer. What seem to be the main differences between the various media? The difference between electronic and print media.
I think the most different is the faster when you want to spread a news on the electronic media or way faster than the print media.
Yes, that's true. So, um, electronic media has quick access. You can easily access it by opening your social media or your smartphone. And yes, it is very fast to approach or to come to people. So let's have number 3. What should we be aware of, Anna? What should we be aware of about media, or let's say print and electronic media?
I think we should maintain a skeptical and critical attitude.
So being skeptical right now is also difficult because, yeah, we have to be skeptical, but sometimes by being too skeptical, it's like that we don't believe in anything anymore. So I guess we don't live in an information age, but we live in a confusion stage. We live in a confusion era. Okay, when it comes to news, guys, or to media. All right, so let's have express yourself. Number 1. The question: do you prefer a morning paper or an evening one? Why? I can still remember before. I think when I was a high school student, I'm the one who always take the newspaper in our gate early in the morning. Every day, someone would bring newspaper in our house and put it in our gate. So I will be the one to take it. But I don't know right now. We don't have such things. But yeah, if you were to ask, do you prefer a morning paper or an evening one?
I prefer a morning paper because I want to be a person to know about the news first.
Wow. We have to remember, guys, the morning paper actually have events that happened or transpired yesterday, and the evening one have the events that happened that day on that day. But yeah, that's also good. That's a good answer, Anna. How about you, Cam? Which one do you prefer?
Of course, I think I like a newspaper on the morning because in the first time of the day, I always feel emotion, and if I have some news that's really useful for my brain can understand, and especially I can use that information in my long day later.
So Cam is emotional in the morning, Anna. All right. Yes. Many old men, like my grandfather, usually read newspaper in the morning while drinking coffee. Do we still do that, or we cannot do that now? How about you, Anna?
Uh,
You
I
still
like
do that? Okay, Cam.
I like reading newspaper or watching current event on every morning, and maybe when I eating.
Okay. While you are eating, I thought while you are running. Okay. So how about you, Anna? Do you still do that activity?
Yeah, I often read electronic uh, newspaper on the morning, in the morning.
Okay, that's good to hear, guys. I felt that you're not reading news anymore. It doesn't actually matter, even if it's print or electronic. So I actually told my student about that because we have that topic for 2 days, and she always tells me, I don't know, I don't have this information. And I told her, you know what, this is our topic, and you have to answer me in this one, because sometimes, guys, we don't like the topic, but for us to test our ability, we need to get out of our comfort zone and talk about that topic. So I told her, it's not important that you know a lot of things, but it's important to know what's happening in your society, even in your country. Just information about what's happening. So let's have number two. What newspapers do you subscribe to? Why? Let's say in electronic media. Maybe you can see that in your smartphone, guys, or in your Facebook. What news portal are you subscribing to?
I often read website VN Express,
Mm.
and it's only the newspaper, electronic newspaper I read.
Oh, okay. I also read that page, Anna, and also I think Vietnam Insider. Yes, VN Express and Vietnam Insider. But the
VN
number,
Insider.
yes, the number one news source for me is right now. I always read in that is the Vietnam Insider because they published in English.
Mm.
Yes, have you read in that news site?
Uh, I think there are many few from that paper, from that website,
Mm.
um, from political to showbiz, and and the issue of how uh, I think there are many few to read.
Okay. So in Vietnam Insider, I haven't read about showbiz.
Showbiz.
It's yeah, it's all about yes, I'm scrolling it right now. It's all about economy in Vietnam. It's all about current issues such as coronavirus. Yes, and transport. Mm, yes, and of course international news such as ASEAN Games. Yes. So I guess you can also subscribe to Vietnam Insider. I'm promoting, but they didn't pay me, guys. Okay, how about you, Cam? What news are you subscribing? What news site or web are you subscribing?
The VN Express and Cafe Beast. That's
What's
the
that?
two website I
Cafe?
uh, Cafe Beast Beast Cafe Business.
Ah, okay, okay. I don't know that. Okay, I just know VN Express and Vietnam Insider. Okay, so that's great. But I guess, guys, oh, I just want to ask, have you subscribed to an international news site or news portal like CNN, BBC?
Yes, but my English is not good, so I can't understand that.
See, translation. You can always translate it. Okay. Yeah, but it's actually a challenge for you guys. Maybe right now you will translate it, but later on it would help you in your English ability. It's a challenge for you. So let's have number three. What magazines do you subscribe to? Do you subscribe to magazines?
No.
Hmm.
I
How about
rarely
you, Anna?
read. I rarely read magazine. I just read it when I am in a flight.
Yes, but it's all about the airplane company and the food in the airplane, and of course the products in the airplane. So maybe, guys, you can subscribe Times Magazine. It's also international, and I guess there is local counterpart of Times Magazine in every country. So that's the magazine that I am subscribing, Times Magazine. It also talks about different stories, but magazine is more difficult to get because it will take them months to publish their stories. Okay, so let's have number four. Which section do you read first in a newspaper? Or is this still applicable? Because in the newspaper, guys, like the print newspaper, the big one, it has a lot of parts. Like they have the front page, they have the ads, they have obituaries. So obituary is the page where dead people's name will be put. But I guess it's not applicable to us right now because we don't read print newspaper, right? We only read the electronic one. So I think I will just rephrase the question. What kind of news will you be attracted to when you read the title?
I often skim the on the title of the newspaper, and if I uh, if if I am in interest in some field, I read it more.
Mm. Okay, so the title in the newspapers, guys, are called headings. So if we talk about newspapers, it's a lot more because there are many definitions. So what headings or what title would you be interested to, Anna?
It's not stable. Uh, for example, this day I care about the coronavirus information, and I
Mm.
often read it. But
Okay.
before it happened, I often read about um, mm, showbiz or um, some issue uh, relate in my health.
Okay, so you read in health section and entertainment section. That's what I'm talking about, guys. So in a newspaper, we have the news section, we have the lifestyle section, we have health section, and we have entertainment section. So I just want to clarify that news and entertainment are two different things. Okay, so when we say news, those are short facts, straight facts, are, and truth, the events that's happening in our society. But if we say entertainment, those are things that happen in our actors and actresses. What are the latest shows and latest movies? That's entertainment. All right. So how about you, Cam? What headings would be of interest to you?
When I saw a website, I always to find the information relate about business and some some information to relate political of Vietnam because all of that information to support me to decision in my job.
So I guess I've read about a news site and the name is Business Insider, but I don't know if you have a counterpart or it has a local um, site in Vietnam. Wow, so that's good, Cam, that you're still reading political news. Okay, I guess I I assume you two don't care about these things. Okay, but that's great to hear. So let's have number 5. Do you often read the so-called sports papers? Why or why not?
So called.
Sports. It talks about sports.
Um, Rarely because I don't like sport and I don't want to spend my free time for that.
How about soccer? Do you like it?
Uh, no, I don't like it.
Oh, okay. You're not a Vietnamese. Just kidding. Okay. Yeah, there are really people like that, guys. So, how about you, Anna?
Yeah, actually, sport is not my favorite field, so
Mm.
I rarely read about them. But
Oh,
sometimes when Vietnam football team join to SEA Games or um, uh, some uh, or something uh, Tiger Cup, yeah.
like they
Uh,
have a match like that.
yeah.
Mm.
In that time, I read more.
Mm. Yes, because it is the pride of your country. So that's as what I've said, the ASEAN game was canceled because many Vietnamese that I know they're really crazy about soccer or football, guys. So it's very like surprising to know people who are not really into this soccer. Is soccer your national sport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, okay. So let's have number 6. What is most important reason you read a newspaper?
I think that is the I just want to update my knowledge and the newest information.
Okay. So to be updated on the current information. Yes, that's right. So that's actually my point is it doesn't matter if you really know all what's happening in the world, or you don't need to be really smart when it comes to news. What's important is that you are just updated on what's happening in your country. How about you, Anna?
Yeah, I'm the same. I
Okay.
think I should to read to know what happened around me.
Mm. Yes, exactly. So I guess that's one thing that you can be a responsible citizen. So to be a responsible citizen, you have to know what is happening nowadays. So I want to ask, aside from coronavirus, what is the latest news about Vietnam? Anna, what is the latest news about Vietnam aside
Yeah,
from coronavirus?
that is for 19 days we don't have any new case.
Mm, okay. How about except coronavirus?
Yeah,
Except
yeah,
news about coronavirus, or aside news about coronavirus?
except that what I read.
Yes. Is
Just
it all
about
coronavirus? Okay.
the price of petrol.
Oh, price of petrol. Did it roll back or did it increase? Increase.
increase increase.
I think it's the same guys all over the world. Yes, in countries who are importing, because in the Philippines it also increased. So I think we cannot blame our government if it happens in many countries. If it happened only in your country, maybe you can blame your government. But if it's happening in many countries, so yeah, I think the virus really affected the world economy. Mm. Okay, how about you, Kam? What's the latest or most current news?
I think the latest news with me is I hear about the Vietnamese to find out a vaccine for anti-coronavirus, and they are testing on, and I hope in the short time later we have to pick the vaccine for every people. I hope so.
Mm,
And
yes.
other side, uh, nearby time, I really happy when I buy food because I can save about a half of money when I buy a food for my car, really cheap, and I pretty happy when go go out.
What did you buy, Kam? I did not get it.
Mm, gasoline.
Ah,
The
okay.
price of gasoline really low. And for example, in the first coronavirus, I pay about 1 million dong for my car per time. But now I just pay three 500,000 dong for one time. Really low, yes. And I'm really happy.
Oh, all right. So it means that the petrol or gasoline in decrease? What's all right. So yeah, that's good, guys. Good to hear that you know it. So let's have the next question. But you don't read magazine, right?
Yes.
So I will change the question. What would make you read a magazine? Is there a reason that you would read a magazine? Aside from Anna's reason, if she's on flight, because maybe she does not have a choice, there's nothing on the airplane, only the magazine on the pocket.
In my case, sometimes I read a magazine like fashion magazine just for to know about some new style on the world.
Yes, I think you should come fashion magazine. You will know the latest style. I think there's also electronic magazine cam that you can subscribe
Yeah.
to know what's latest. How about you, Anna?
The magazine that I read on the flight, not just about airplane. It talk about somewhere we need to travel in Vietnam.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and
That's good.
fashion.
Fashion as well. So we have this kind of magazine. It's called Travelogue magazine. Travelogue magazine talks about, yes, some places that you can visit on a certain country, as what you've said, Anna. So maybe you've read a Travelogue magazine. And in my case also, I likely read Travelogue magazines. Okay, so let's have the next question. Do you believe everything you read in the newspaper, in a magazine? Like for example, Anna, you are subscribing to VN Express, right?
Yeah,
So do you believe everything that you can read in VN Express?
of course not, Vina. If the information is not affect to anyone, for example, the time to fashion in this year, or the film are going to publish in the near future. It's
Mm.
not affect to anyone. I believe it, but
Okay.
for political field, I think I don't trust it.
Okay, I got it. So you are really looking for the effect of the news on people, right? Okay, that's a good way of really being skeptical, Anna. So how about you, Cam? Especially
Uh,
in the bees coffee bees or cafe bees.
Mhm.
Actually, I really agree with a sentence. In the first, uh, you can read a newspaper for update knowledge, but nowadays, you definitely have to knowledgeable first, and then you can read a book or newspaper or many other style of media. So the problem is that's why I really skeptical when I saw one news on media.
Okay, so it's really very difficult to be skeptical right now, guys, because, for example, the news is on the other side of the country. We cannot confirm if that is true because we cannot go there and see if it really affects people. So I guess that the greatest school is really society. So you are correct, Anna, that if it happens to people, if it affects a society, I guess you have to believe in that because maybe what you see is what you believe. If you see this in our society. So the difficult part of being like that is, as what I've said, if this news happens in a far part of our country, we cannot confirm if it's true or not unless someone from our family or someone from our friends will tell us that this really happened. Okay, it's fine, guys, even if we live in a difficult times because we cannot feel it right now. Okay, so let's have the next question. Do you read every advertisement in the paper? Or let's say when you're opening your Facebook, do you watch or read all the advertisements?
No, I rarely to see that.
You rarely see advertisement or you skip it?
Actually, I don't care about advertisement on the Facebook and many advertise.
Mm. How about your advertisement on your business account? Because you also advertise your business right now, right? On Facebook?
Yes, yes, Google AdWords. But maybe the my skill in advertisement on Google still bad. So I think my challenge advertisement on Google not effective as I expect.
Mm. I guess you have to like have many friends and invite all your friends to like it, and you have to be patient, like always annoy people and always tell them to like your page, blah blah blah. And actually, so there will be a point that Facebook will ask you to pay maybe 100 VND to boost your page. It's like it's like that. Okay, how about you, Anna?
Mm, in the past, when I read print newspaper, I often read include advertisement. But when I read electronic newspaper, I often skip it. Uh, I just noted on sale some product, for example, food or clothes or shoes. Yeah, that's all.
I guess that's true. We really choose the advertisement that we like to. So yeah, in my case also, I would like to choose advertisement about food or some other things that I am interested to, because we interesting advertisement would be appealing to us if it's of our interest. For example, food or fashion, we are maybe going to read that or to watch that if we are interested about it. So let's have number 10. Do you trust what the ads say? Ads say. So in on Facebook, guys, I always watch this food hacks. So when you say food hacks, these are maybe videos about food, and then they give you tips on how to make it easier, how to make it more delicious, and how to make it more beautiful. And then days after watching these videos, there was a YouTuber who posted that those kind of videos are not true. So, oh my God, the word is like this. People are like competing each other. So yeah, right now I don't believe in those food hacks anymore, because right after that someone will publish again another thing and it will say that it's not true, it's not real, and you will be hurt because you really believe in it. So yeah, right now I don't usually believe in those kinds of advertisements or let's say video. How about you, Anna?
Yeah, I don't believe what ads say because it always say the good information from their products.
Of course, they cannot sell it if they will say bad things. Yeah. How about I want to ask Anna, do you always believe the reviews? Reviews on online
uh, the
um
feedback.
sites? Yes. Feedbacks on
Yeah,
Lazada or
I just believe in the feedback from the person I know.
mm-mm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. People based. Anna, you are a people based person. How about you, Cam? Turn on your mic.
Actually, I don't care about the advertisement on the media.
You also don't care about it. Even advertisement about fashion or clothes.
Yes.
Oh, there is something that you have to do, Cam. You have to watch the advertisement on fashion and clothes because you have to gather information on how they do it. Yes, actually, some people who wants to build their own restaurant, they usually go to different restaurants and they eat the food because they're actually observing what they are doing in the restaurant and what kind of food they are serving. It means they are doing a survey. You know what is survey, right? They're doing a survey or research without the owner knowing, okay? Yes, on their own. Yeah, so I guess Cam, you can do that as part of your business. So let's have number 11. What kinds of ads do you think are most truthful? There was this time in the Philippines, guys, that if an advertisement is exaggerated, you know what's exaggerated, right? Do you know the
Exaggerated.
do you know the word exaggerated? Exaggerated, like it seems that it's over and it seems that you cannot believe it anymore. For example, they will advertise about a soap, and the advertisement will say, in just one day, your skin will be as white as snow. So that's exaggeration. Or if they advertise about a certain pill and the pill will say, in just 1 week, you will be very sexy. So that's what we call exaggeration or exaggerated. So there was this time in the Philippines where we have a law about advertisement. And if the advertisement is exaggerated, the company have to pay because it means that they are not telling the truth or they are not truthful. So, back to the question, what kinds of ads do you think are most truthful? Sometimes advertisements are actually quite interesting, especially advertisement that has stories or it is like short stories.
Often known as tell the truth.
Now, no one,
Yeah, no
no
one.
ads, no ads would tell the truth. Hmm. Okay, that's so true, Anna. Because yes, what you said, no one will buy it if they will say the truth. How about you, Cam? Do you think there are trustful or truthful ads nowadays?
I think we can trust on the advertisement from the expert,
Experts.
like yes, like a doctor and some famous people we can trust.
Mhm. You
No.
know, guys, you know Safeguard, right? Safeguard. Do you know Safeguard? You don't know Safeguard, like the soap? It's also in Vietnam. I saw it.
I don't know.
The Safeguard soap that you use to clean your body. So actually, sometimes Safeguard uses doctors in their advertisement, uses doctors and experts in their advertisement. And Safeguard will always say it kills 199.9% of all the germs.
Yeah.
People will say,
Safeguard.
yeah,
Safeguard.
you know
Stop.
Safeguard, right? Hmm.
Safeguard. Uh, uh, the product about soap and shampoo. Right?
Only safeguard is only hand wash, like the boy, safe
Yeah.
boy, that, but it's safeguard, not safe boy. So product about soap, cleaning your body, and hand wash. So it always say it kills 99.9% of the germs or bacteria. So people would say, who would kill the 1% to make it 100? Because it only kills 99.9%. So people are looking for the 1%. Okay. So I agree with Anna sometimes, even if they use doctors or experts, because we don't know that these advertisements are, yeah, let's say profit motivated. They do that to increase their profits. So let's have number 12. Which is better to subscribe to, an online newspaper or one printed on paper? I guess I already know the answer. Online or printed?
Hmm. I think nowadays when the print newspapers always to own another online newspaper, so really different, and for weekend to follow a print magazine, so we should to follow the um, online magazine.
Magazine? Okay.
Magazine or newspaper or something like that.
All right. Everything will be online right now. I guess that's really
Mm.
true. Even if it's sad, because there are actually like people right now who are advocating to go back in reading the printed one, but I guess we cannot stop people if they would choose the online. How about you, Anna? Turn on your mic, Anna.
I think nowadays we don't use print paper more popular like before. But I remember the feeling when when I waste the book I favorite or the newspaper I interested in because it just published on the day exactly one day on week.
Okay, I guess it's true. And the feeling of reading a book, guys, or printed document is really different. So actually, reading on phone is different. I guess in my case, I have a lot of books on my smartphone, but I'm still uncomfortable reading it. So let's have number 13. What kinds of books do you read? Cam, do you read books?
The I very lazy and I always feel sleepy when read a book. Yes, and I rarely to read.
Mm. But before, have you tried to read books before, or you are not really a bookworm? Or let's not say bookworm, but a person who has
Uh,
read a book.
Bookworm.
Bookworm.
I think I read many books when I was a student.
Whoa, that's impressive. Is that the books from your subject?
Uh, all of my book I will read to relate about business and
Okay.
develop myself. I think so.
Oh, okay. I guess self-development or let's say
Self.
self-help books. Self-development or self-help books are great books. I also like this kind of books. So we have two bookworm. Worm is a person who likes to read books, who really likes to read books. But a bookish is someone who just rely or who just depends on books. So that's bookish. For example, you're a teacher and you're a bookish teacher. You just rely on books, and yeah, I guess your student will die in your classroom. Okay. So how about you, Anna? What kinds of books do you read?
I just read some book that my son read too because I want to share uh, the information with him.
So children's books.
Yeah, children book.
I guess some children's books, Anna, are also great. Like I like it because you can actually learn something. So maybe if you're interested, Anna, and if you want your son to read English stories, there is an app for kids, and all the stories there are written in English. But what's good, because the stories there are very short, and I'm actually reading it. It's for kids, but I read those stories. So maybe I could give you the app, and later on you can allow your son to read the stories.
Yeah.
Yes, there are many choices. There are short stories, moral stories. If you say moral stories, those are stories which contain lessons in life.
Yeah,
So some
moral,
may be good
moral
too.
story.
Mm. All right. So number 14, how often do you visit a bookstore? So in my case, guys, the first thing, if I go to a country, there are three things that I usually visit. The first one is the library, because I don't know if there's bookstore in in that certain place. The second one is the museum, and the third one is the market. But if I go to a mall, the first one that I go is the bookstore. Yeah, but right now I haven't been to a bookstore. But in Ho Chi Minh, guys, it's really good because you have this what we call book street. And I was so amazed because in the Philippines, we actually don't have that. And that's also one of the complaints of my Vietnamese students in the Philippines because they haven't seen any book streets in the Philippines, but they can only go to a bookstore if they go to a mall. So I guess it's limited, but here in Vietnam, even if sometimes maybe you go to Da Nang, there are book streets. So I guess that's good. And book streets are very long. So you can have a lot of choices. Okay, how about you, Anna? You're living in Ho Chi Minh. Anna, turn on your mic.
Although I live in Ho Chi Minh City, but I don't visit the book street. I just visit bookstore with my son, and I often buy some books for him. So the time I visit bookstore just one or two times a month.
Okay, that's still good because it will be maybe not good if it's once a year. Okay, so the book street in Ho Chi Minh is near the church, right? And the post
Mm.
office. So I think it's kind of interesting. You will have city tour. If you go to the book street, you will tour your city. So how about you, Kam? Oh, Kam, is there a library here in Haizong or a bookstore in
Mm,
Haizong?
yes, there are two or three bookstores in Hải Dương. You can find
Mhm.
them in a big C, but I think the big C not uh, uh, haven't much about books. And sometimes I go to bookstore and try to buy something, but I just to put on my bookshelf and forgot it.
Oh, poor books. Yeah, but actually, you're not alone, Kam, because even those people who are really bookworms, they have a lot of books piled at home, but they don't actually read it. It's like in my case, I want to buy the book. when I was in the Philippines, I usually go to bookstore that selling cheap books. I will buy it, but I actually don't read it because
Mm,
there is this what we call sepangs or separation
yeah.
anxiety. Maybe I told you that before. So if you're a reader, if you're an avid reader and you've read a book that you really like, it's like you live in that book, or you are so attached in the book that you cannot read another book. Yes, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay, so let's have number 15. I hope that you can have an answer in this one. Talk about the most impressive books you have ever read. Maybe there's one or two books that you were really impressed. Let's say when you were young. Okay, in my case, when I was a high school student, I was so impressed by this English book that we often read in our room. So it's not all about books from outside, but it's our classroom English book because it talks about different stories. And those stories, we often play it and yeah, we act on it. So I was impressed in that because you said, Cam, that you don't usually read books, but you read the books from your school, right? So I
Uh,
guess.
in my case, I just started read a book when I was student, and the first book I read there is Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and I think that's make me change a lot. And after that, I find some useful book from Napoleon Hill, pretty good.
I guess that's a very popular book, Rich Dad. What's the
Rich
title
Dad
of it?
and Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I guess Napoleon Hill is actually popular in that case. So I guess it's also a self-development book, right?
Mm, yes,
All right.
Napoleon
So,
slant about self-develop.
mm-mm, yes. So I think he was able to publish many books like Think and Grow Rich. Do you know that book about him?
Yes.
And The Law of Success. Yeah, it's all about self-development. That's correct. So, how about you, Anna? Was there a book you were impressed?
Yeah, I often read children book from I was a child until now,
Mm.
and I think it's popular for all of you. Doraemon, do you know that?
You mean the magazine Doraemon?
Yeah,
Doraemon
magazine.
is really popular. The magazine, or what do you call comic book? It's a comic book.
Yeah, comic book
Yeah.
with a
Mm.
picture.
Yes. It's called manga because it came from Japan and there are a lot of mangas. Yes, it's not mango, it's manga. But
Mango.
you know what? The local word for mango in the Philippines is actually manga. So when you tell a child manga and you're referring to a book, maybe the child will be confused in the Philippines. All right. So do you know, Anna, what's the like the origin of the story Doraemon?
Original.
Or the origin of the story Doraemon?
From Japan.
Yeah, it's from Japan, but the real story of Doraemon is that um, Doraemon is not actually true. Doraemon is just the
Mm,
imagination of
yeah.
Nobita. Nobita is the child, right? Yes, Nobita is the child who's always, and Nobita has this special disease. Like he is a special child, so he is different from other child. He is not a normal child. So because no one is always would go with Nobita. He's always alone. He keeps on imagining things, and he imagined Doraemon. and it's actually from real life story. There was this kid like that, and that was the inspiration of the story Doraemon. I actually like Doraemon because Doraemon have a very unconditional love to Nobita. Like even if Nobita is a very naughty boy, Doraemon always gives everything to Nobita. So that's great. So I guess Anna, if you want, or even you come, maybe you can let your kids, or you can buy this book to your kids, The Little Prince, The Little Price.
The Little
Have you
Prince.
heard about this, The Little Price?
Prince. Yeah.
About this book?
Yes.
No.
So I was so amazed by this book, guys. I saw this in the, of course, in bookstore, and the book was actually very wide and very big. It's good for kids because it has illustration, and it's not very little. Like the words are just short, but the illustration is so big. In the Philippines, if you are going to convert it in Vietnamese dong, it costs 500 Vietnamese dong. I guess books are good investment for kids right this time. So yeah, I hope you can buy those illustrated books because right now maybe kids would be interested with illustrated books, not the books that does not have any picture. I guess also adult like us, we are more interested on the pictures in the books. All right, so let's have the opinion samples. Let's have the first opinion, Anna. Do you agree with the first opinion?
Yes, I agree with it, but I don't know the grain of sound. I don't know it clearly.
And then we can take what we read with a grain of salt. It's safer that way. So it means that you are only going to take what you are interested in and what you believe it's true. So when we say salt, oftentimes salt is an ingredient that could make the food delicious, right? So
Yeah.
it means that here it is something that you are interested. So you are only going to take or to believe or to read what would make you interested or what you believe is true. And then you are going to start from that because it says here that maybe it's safer to take or to believe the part of the news that you think is true. Like what you said, you will only believe it if it happens or if it affects some people. So that's for number one. Let's have number two, Tom.
I think I agree with that. When we saw advertisement on TV or on electronic media, I think we should to uh, uh, thinking about that and don't just for on don't just on that 100%.
So as what we always say a while ago, that maybe some advertisement are not reasonable, and some of it are exaggerated because they are motivated by profit or they want their profit to increase. That's it. So we have here the word slander. It means to be dishonest. Like you will become dishonest just to advertise the product. Let's have number one of the useful expressions. Nowadays, it seems that more books are read in laundromats than in libraries. What do you understand about that expression, Anna?
I think that they want to say nowadays we just read book for uh, entertain, not for
Mm,
research. Some feel, some feels.
okay. That's exactly the point, Anna. So right now we just read books if we don't have a choice anymore. Like if we are waiting for our laundry to finish, not because the purpose of book is to, of course, to acquire knowledge or to gain knowledge, but I think right now it's not true to everyone. Let's have number two. How to get rich books are now filed under fiction.
Actually, I don't understand the meaning.
So, for example, come the self-help books that you are reading, like the ones that are written by Napoleon Hill. So, many people would say that it's not really real. It's not true. It's fiction. So, when we say fiction, those are stories that are not really happening in real life.
Because to realize about myself, and there are many things happen in my mind. So maybe um, I'm not sure about that. And actually, I don't understand.
Okay, so for example, the because books are actually categorized in many category. For example, history books, literature. So literature are often like fiction. So fiction are, for example, those are stories like Snow White, Cinderella, or yes, those are what we call fiction, or people that can fly. Those are fiction. Let's say it's unbelievable. It's not really transpiring or happening in the real life. But if we say self-help books, it's not fiction because these are books that can help ourselves develop. So many people are thinking that how to get rich books are now filed under fiction because many people don't believe in those books right now because they rely too much on, of course, the new trend, and that is reading, maybe reading development or tips on social media as well. So, um, simply saying that no one have the interest in reading self-help books or books that can help ourselves develop.
Mm, I think maybe the people nowadays they like to follow one successful person, uh, and uh, they can to introduce people step by step, really real, and the other people can to do the same that for to get more success. But in my case, I always like a book uh, with the knowledge can to summarize many real situation in our life. And when they can to summarize that and to show under the theory for I can use in many other situations. I can that is the good way for I can learn, and I really want to read that book. And I also think because really complicated uh, with the same book, so that's making many people don't believe and don't want to do that.
Hmm. Okay, so some books are really complicated and people won't believe in that because I guess right now it's also opposite because before um, people read the books and then the writer becomes famous, right? For example, the story of Harry Potter. So Harry Potter became famous, and then the author J.K. Rowling or the writer became famous. But today, we need to wait for a person to become famous, and then after the person become famous, the person will write a book, and then that's the time that people will read the book or follow because the person is famous. So right now it's the other way around. So before, books can make the writer famous, but right now, famous people can make the books famous. So it's this different. It's the other way because as what you said, Cam, we follow famous people, right? We will read the books that they write. So it's really different from now. Like Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill became famous because of the books that he wrote. But it's not happening nowadays because we follow the books written by famous people. If this person is not famous, I guess we are not going to read the book that person wrote. Okay. So I guess this topic is a bit difficult. So I hope the next topic will be more easy, guys. Okay, do you have any more question about issue number
No, 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 no.
Oh my God, no, no, no. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great
Okay.
day. Goodbye.